god julemad, gode julegaver. Og ja, glædelig jul, børn. Glædelig jul, glædelig jul, glædelig jul. Glædelig jul. Ja, så er det staves. Hvad har man helt søgt på? Jeg var bare så glædelig jul til alle sammen. Jeg streamer sgu 3 gange i dag. Ja. Stein Bakker. Hvad har man helt søgt på? Skal jeg lige se min nye motherfucker-figur? Prøv at se her, hvis I ikke har set det sidste stream, så har jeg fået en kæmpe Charizard. Den er stor, fam. Den er stor, den her. Prøv at se her, det er den lille. Motherfucker. Ja, jeg er glad for ham. Han kommer til at sidde her med mig. Nu ser jeg en video om Charizard.
The single worst moment in a Pokemon's career. How a Pokemon who was at the height of the league during their prime years fumbled and threw it all away. This is the story on how Ash's Charizard, who was once an all-star pick, rose, fell, and maybe rose again. But to understand where this all started, we have to take it back to Season 1 of the Pokemon anime. This season takes place in the Kanto region, where Ash is our main character on his very first Pokemon journey, and for lack of a better words, he's dumb. He's an inexperienced new 10-year-old trainer that doesn't know how to raise Pokemon. But the thing about Ash is that he's a kid with a heart, and when he sees a dying Pokemon out in the rain, he's gonna go save him. And that's exactly what happened to Charmander. Early on Ash's journey, he meets Charmander on a rock. He looks pretty sick and sad, but he won't move at all. Ash tries to catch this Charmander and bring him to a Pokemon Center since he's sick and clearly needs help, but Charmander refuses to move from this rock, let alone getting caught. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to save the Charmander's life, Pikachu comes over and lets the gang know that Charmander says that it actually has an owner and it's waiting for him to return. Skeptical, the gang stays over at a local place to keep watch at Charmander, waiting for its owner to return. When the gang pulls up at this spot, they meet Damien. They overhear him talking about how he abandoned a Charmander because he was too weak. And this is just crazy to me, because imagine in real life if you pull up to a hotel and a group of people are flexing that they beat and abandoned their dog. With Ash and Brock being the only two sensible people in the room, Brock goes up to Damien and presses him. Brock tells Damien he should go back and get his Pokemon because he's going to die since it's raining outside, and when Charmanders lose the fire on their tail, they die. Damien just doesn't seem to care, so Ash, Brock, and Misty go out and rescue Charmander. When they finally find Charmander, they find that he's getting beaten to death by an army of sparrows. Pikachu uses Thunder Shock on the sparrows, and they wrap Charmander in a blanket to preserve the fire on his tail so he doesn't die. Charmander is holding on to his life. They manage to bring Charmander to Nurse Joy, and she heals him right up. But later that night, Charmander escapes because he is shocked that Damien actually abandoned him. Charmander unfortunately develops Stockholm Syndrome, where despite the abuse Damien has done towards him, he still wants to go back to Damien since it feels like home. And to be honest, Damien is a straight bum. To hurt such a powerful and loyal Pokemon like this, especially in the Kanto region, Damien definitely fumbled for whatever trash he has on his team. While Charmander was roaming around, he encounters Team Rocket, which is just captured Pikachu. Charmander uses Flamethrower to defeat Team Rocket and free up Pikachu, repaying his debt to Ash. And this bum Damien was lurking around the corner, saw how powerful Charmander really is, and switched up, saying he wanted to get Charmander back on his team. Damien started gaslighting Charmander into believing that he was searching for Charmander the entire time and that he was coming back. Charmander is sick of the lies and refuses to join Damien's team. Damien gets salty and cusses out Charmander by telling him that he was never coming back for him and that he's weak and worthless. Charmander gets his get back by hitting Damien with a flamethrower and joining Ash's team in the end, since Ash was the only nice trainer to him. And that should be the end of that story, right? Ash saves Charmander from his abusive trainer, Charmander joins Ash's team, they get along, are loyal, and become the best of friends and a star Pokemon of Ash's team. But not all stories have the best endings. While Charmander was traveling along Ash's team, he was actually pretty grateful to be on the squad and helped Ash a lot and listened like all the other Pokemon. They even had a really wholesome moment where Ash was stranded in a cave due to a blizzard, and Charmander saved him and all the other Pokemon's lives by keeping them warm because of the fire on his tail. Ever since then, Charmander seriously became Ash's #1 Pokemon. He consistently used them throughout every episode, defeating tons of Pokemon he seriously shouldn't have beaten, like this Golem, and he was seriously getting way ahead of level compared to all of Ash's Pokemon. Charmander could honestly 1v5 them. Because of Charmander's proficient dominance on Ash's team, there's an episode where they go to a city with a bunch of Executors. Charmander uses Flamethrower and defeats a bunch of Executors, giving him a lot of XP, which caused him to evolve into Charmeleon. At first, this would be seen as a good thing, since Pokemon evolving is always good, right? But the once innocent, loyal, and strong Charmander we once knew was now gone, since Charmeleon didn't care about Ash anymore. This was the start of his downfall. If you've only watched the Pokemon anime, you may have been confused on why Ash's Charmeleon didn't want to listen to him anymore after evolving. But if you played the Pokemon games, you may know this feeling all too well. In the Pokemon games, there's a mechanic where the number of gym badges you have as a trainer directly correlates to how strong of a Pokemon you can use. This is to prevent new trainers from using super high level Pokemon they really should have access to. And that's basically what happened to Ash. Charmeleon redeemed Ash unworthy of his power and just stopped listening to him. In Charmeleon's eyes, things are gonna work on his term and his terms only, and he doesn't really care what Ash has to say. Charmeleon's rebellious phase was getting out of control, and Ash came to realize this. Along their journey, Ash wanted to help another trainer evolve their Paris, and he sent out Charmeleon to have a friendly battle. Keyword friendly. Charmeleon just didn't care at all and wanted all the smoke and completely went overboard with this Paris. After that mishap, Charmeleon shot his fire at Ash. It got so bad, Ash had to send out Pikachu to deal with Charmeleon to prove that he's not that guy. Ash was pretty sad about this, since his once beloved Charmander that was once a staple on his team is such a bratty Charmeleon that wouldn't even listen to a single instruction. Ash decided to give Charmeleon one last chance against Paris to help him evolve, and when he sent out Charmeleon, he went even crazier, and if he did not bump into Paris's poison needle, that Paris would have been dead. After that, Ash had to decide to make Charmeleon take a bit of a backseat for now and let him chill off and figure out what's actually going on with this Pokemon. And that was it for Charmeleon. Ash made the smart decision to not bring out Charmeleon for a very long time. And the only time Charmeleon saw the light of day is when Ash was in a life or death situation and had to bring out one of his final Pokemon, Charmeleon. Ash was being chased by fossil Pokemon that wanted to kill him. And when Charmeleon finally came out, he just looked there smug. He didn't care about Ash's life, he didn't care about this situation, and he low-key just wanted to sleep. One of the fossil Pokemon, Aerodactyl, was a menace and kidnapped Ash and Pikachu and swatted Charmeleon on the way out. This hurt Charmeleon's ego so bad it challenged Aerodactyl to a 1v1. Aerodactyl didn't really view Charmeleon as anything and just emoted on him again, and this pissed off Charmeleon a lot, evolving him into the Charizard we know today. And this Charizard was a beast. It was so powerful it was able to defeat Aerodactyl and even save Ash. For a moment, Ash thought that everything was back to normal. Its Charizard saved him from the bottom of his heart because its trainer was in trouble, but in reality, Charizard only evolved because its ego got hurt, not because Ash got kidnapped. So, nothing really changed with Ash and Charizard's dynamic. Charizard was still at the back of Ash's team as this wild card and not the forefront that he used to be. But this all changed when Ash went to the 7th gym leader. Ash challenged Blaine, the 7th gym leader, to a Pokemon battle, and he sent out his Charizard. A risky move, and Charizard just chilled on the side and he didn't care. Up until he saw Blaine's Magmar. This Magmar stopped the Volcano Crisis, gaining the respect of Charizard, and Charizard challenged him to a 1v1, considering Magmar his first worthy opponent. In this fight, we saw the true power of Charizard. Him and Magmar went head-to-head, even fighting in lava. And Charizard revealed his signature move, Seismic Toss, ending the battle and proving that he is the strongest fire Pokemon on Blaine's Island. It was nice for Charizard to finally deem someone a worthy opponent and show us how powerful he truly is. To be honest, Charizard must be like level 60 while everyone else is level 40. Ash was then appointed the Fire Gym Badge by Blaine. Finally, maybe something that would be able to prove his worth to Charizard. But even after Ash getting this badge, Charizard did not respect him at all, and it was back to the same old, same old. Charizard cannot get over the fact that this 10-year-old kid could improve, and he will always view Ash slower than him. Now, every side has two stories, and we never actually looked at it from Charizard's perspective. How did Charizard develop this ideology? It's simply because of the trauma he got from his old trainer. Charizard got abandoned because he was considered weak and not good enough, and now that he finally has the power and is strong and can body practically anybody, he's scared that if he becomes complacent and listens to a trainer like Ash, it'll end up making him weak and he'll get abandoned all over again, repeating the cycle. So we didn't see Charizard for a while, and the only other Pokemon we've ever seen Ash's Charizard fight after that point was Mewtwo and his clone Pokemon, where Mewtwo is obviously the strongest Pokemon in that region, and Charizard had to challenge himself in the Pokemon movie against Mewtwo and the Charizard clone. In this Pokemon movie, if you didn't know, Ash actually died and got turned to stone, and Charizard and the rest of the Pokemon cried, and this is very monumental to Charizard's character, since this is the first time we've seen him show genuine affection towards Ash, since him losing his life is pretty sad. But Ash came back to life and Charizard went back to being his old self. But this brings us to the heights of Charizard's career. The Indigo League, a tournament where trainers around the region come together and fight to have a chance to verse the Elite Four and proving who's the best of the best in the Kanto region. This is a big moment in Ash's career and an even bigger moment for Charizard since he only wants to verse strong Pokemon, so only strong Pokemon should be here, right? The Indigo League had over 200 participants and Ash brought along Pikachu, Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Krabby, and Charizard as his 6th Pokemon on his team. And Ash took this tournament super seriously, making it out of the top 200, being one of the finalists in the top 16. And throughout all the battles leading up to this, he didn't use his Charizard once. He knew he was a wild card and wanted to play it safe by using his loyal and reliable Pokemon, which may have been his downfall. For this top 16 round, Ash is going up against a kid named Richie, and they're down to their final Pokemon. Ash only has Charizard left, while Richie has Charmander and Pikachu. And to be honest, how did this kid even make it to the top 16 with his weak team? But I'll digress. Ash takes the risk and sends out his Charizard in front of thousands of people at the live tournament event. And Charizard listened to Ash. He actually defeated Richie's Charmander with ease, since Charizard is way stronger than Richie's entire team. But then Richie sends out his star star Pokemon, Pikachu, or Zippy. Charizard was far from impressed from his matchup. He has the power to beat this Pikachu, but he's just disappointed that this is what everything was leading up to, him versing a couple first and second stage level Pokemon, rather than him fighting strong Pokemon like the Magmar he met back at Blaine's Island. So instead of Charizard swiftly taking care of this Pikachu so they can fight stronger trainers the farther they go up in the tournament, he chooses the nuclear option. Charizard throws it all away at the height of his career and refuses to battle. Charizard's actions resulted in Ash getting eliminated from the Indigo League, the thing that they were working up for so long, all over his pride. Now that's where the story would have ended for most trainers, including myself. If I got that amount of disrespect in front of a tournament, that lizard is off my team. But that's not where it ended for Ash. Ash still had a little bit of hope in Charizard and kept him on his team. He didn't treat him any differently, he was patient with him and worked with him. In the Orange Islands the next season after the Indigo League, there was a glimmer of hope for Charizard. Ash was versing a pretty strong Poliwrath and sends out Charizard, but Charizard doesn't want to listen until Charizard gets one up by the Poliwrath getting frozen and defeated. This was one of the first times Charizard felt true defeat. He lost a fight because of his own incompetence, even though Ash trusted him. But Ash didn't dwell on Charizard's loss at all. He was actually more concerned about Charizard's health since he took on a full Ice Beam from the Poliwrath and is potentially dangerous for Charizard. Ash stayed up all night healing Charizard, being with him and keeping him warm. And Charizard realized that Ash really did care for him, and Ash wanted the best for him and didn't care if he won or lost. So since Charizard finally saw the good in Ash, he threw away his abusive past with Damien and looked forward towards the future with Ash. And when they teamed up, they were stronger than ever. The next day, when they were working together, they bodied the Poliwrath, and Charizard finally swore his allegiance to Ash as his loyal Pokemon, and they were unstoppable. Charizard was the Luka Doncic of the Pokemon League. This guy was unstoppable ever since they teamed up, and they even won the Orange Islands together. Things were finally looking consistently up for this lizard. No one was really a challenge for Ash and Charizard, and they even went to the Johto region, and that was even easier for Charizard. He had basically no threats throughout the Johto region at all. Word was spreading around fast that Ash was a trainer that was able to tame this powerful Charizard, that they got invited to the Charcific Valley, and everything changed from that point. The Charcific Valley is a place where only the best Charizards live. They eat, sleep, fight alongside each other to only improve as a Charizard. Liza is the leader of this valley, and she wanted to test Ash's Charizard skills to see where he compares with the rest of the Charizards. And Ash's Charizard was the weakest in the room. Seriously, there was not one Charizard that he was stronger than in that valley. They even wanted to test Ash's skills as a trainer to see if he knew how to fly with Charizard, and they were incapable of even flying together. Charizard was just a stroke of dumb luck, fighting low elo people, and when he finally got to the big leagues, it showed that he wasn't as good as he really thought he was. Once Liza saw Ash's Charizard's performance, she actually banished him from the kingdom since she did not think he was worthy at all from training there or even being around these Charizards. Charizard spent that entire night reflecting in the water on how to improve and become a better Pokemon. Even Team Rocket felt bad for Charizard getting outcasted by his own people, that they helped Charizard get back into the Charcific Valley by staging a Team Rocket attack and making Charizard be painted as the hero that saved everyone. Because of all of this, Charizard got invited to stay at the Charcific Valley to train and become as strong as possible. And with new opportunities presented with Charizard, that just means some doors have to close. And unfortunately, the door that has to close is Ash traveling with Charizard. Charizard was pretty down with just denying the offer and still traveling with Ash, but Ash knew what's best for Charizard is to stay with Charizard to get stronger and to be the best that he could possibly be. Charizard was pretty shocked by Ash's response, since he didn't think Ash would want him to go stay with these Charizards, but Ash knew it was for the greater good and left in tears, leaving Charizard behind at the Charcific Valley, promising to meet again as friends. And Ash went on to travel a bunch of other regions and periodically meeting Charizard throughout the way with little cameos, and even in Pokemon Journeys reuniting with their original gang again for old time's sakes. This story shows how Charizard was able to overcome his emotional abuse from Damien and end up trusting humans again.
Oh yeah, son.
This right here is the most important Pokemon battle of all time. Ash's Greninja is an anomaly, a beast that we've never seen before, and there are very few Pokemon that have been able to fundamentally change the franchise like this one. This is the story on Ash's Greninja, who was once an all-star pick, rose, fell, and rose to greater heights. But to understand all this, we have to take it back all the way to the Kalos region, before Greninja was even a Greninja, where he was just a lonely Froakie. When Froakie first hatched from his egg, he was already very different from his group. While everyone else was having fun and partying, Froakie just wanted to train and get stronger. At first glance, the other Froakies thought our Froakie was just a little weird and just enjoyed training a lot, but these differences eventually turned into hate. They were so scared of the unknown that they decided to kick Froakie out of the group, leaving him out in the wild to be all alone. Some time has passed and Froakie has somehow made it to Professor Sycamore's lab, but there's one other issue with this Froakie. Whenever Professor Sycamore gives him out to a brand new trainer, Froakie always ends up getting returned or abandoned by that previous trainer. This is because Froakie believes he has such high potential that he won't let it be wasted by mediocre trainers, so he'll continue waiting at the lab until he finds someone worthy of his power. Some time has passed and that leads us to the first episode of the Pokemon X and Y anime, where Ash is landing into the Kalos region. And I gotta be honest for a second, this has to be one of Ash's best character designs yet. He looks so mature for his age compared to previous seasons, and this new design is actually quite telling on why Froakie gravitated towards Ash. Because while Ash was walking through the Kalos region, Froakie was following him within the shadows, and when Ash got into a battle with Team Rocket and Pikachu almost got hit by a devastating attack, Froakie jumped in the way, tanking the attack for Pikachu, wanting to help Ash. They ended up defeating Team Rocket, but Froakie was in critical condition, and they rushed him over to the professor's lab. And at this lab, Ash learned the truth. Professor Sycamore told Ash that this Froakie has actually been abandoned by his last trainer and really doesn't trust humans all that much and only wants to be raised by a strong trainer. Ash believed that Froakie was actually a good Pokemon and that he just needed the right opportunity to unlock his true potential, and this was proven even further where Team Rocket stole Professor Sycamore's Garchomp and he started tweaking out, but Froakie in the end ended up saving the day, protecting the Garchomp. Because of all this, Froakie realized Ash's love for Pokemon and realized that Ash would actually be a worthy trainer for him, and Ash thought likewise, and ever since then, Froakie joined Ash's team, being one of his aces. And you would think from here that the story goes smooth sailing, with them becoming the best of friends, but the story actually gets so much more complicated. Since Froakie has actually never worked within a team, he actually struggled a lot with teamwork, especially in the early episodes, where Froakie would not listen to Ash's instructions and always just do what he sees fit. This behavior actually costed Froakie a battle against a fletchling, destroying his self-confidence because he knew he had the power to win the battle, but he just lost because of his own thoughts. And when Froakie applied this, he became better than ever, being able to defeat this fletchling in a rematch. And with all that being said and done, Froakie ended up enjoying his time on Ash's team and made some pretty good friends. But what Froakie didn't realize is that he was creating even greater rivals. One of the rivals that were brewing up was this ninja that said Ash's Froakie was actually slow and he had a Frogadier himself, and he said his Frogadier was way more faster and better than Ash's Froakie. Ash didn't take this lightly and challenged him to a battle. And that's when they learned real quick that they are not on top. They got absolutely destroyed. They got beat so bad they were pretty bummed out about it, but the ninja actually offered to train Froakie, which they did. They taught Froakie how to be more agile on water, be more stealth, and overall become a better Pokemon, and they said they'll meet them again and hope that Froakie got him stronger. Taking all this info in, you would think Froakie would put his head down and try to become stronger than that Frogadier, but Froakie actually made a brand new rival on his own team. In a later episode, there was a Halucha that Ash wanted to catch, so he sent out Froakie, and they got into a very heated battle, which resulted into a draw. Ash still ended up catching Halucha, but Froakie just didn't want to work with Halucha, and Halucha did not respect Froakie at all. Ash even took them out in a double battle, and they completely lost it, bickering against each other and did not work together. Ash realized this wasn't working, and it wasn't until Ash's life was in danger the two Pokemon actually teamed up, set their differences aside, and realized that they could work together. So we now managed to get an established team, and Froakie's looking pretty good. But later in the timeline, Ash meets the ninja trainer again, finding him going down a river unconscious. When they wake him up, they realize that he actually has a Greninja now, not a Frogadier. They ask Ash for their help to defeat the Barbaracle, so Greninja and Froakie put their differences aside and team up to fight the Barbaracle. The fight wasn't going the greatest. Greninja and Froakie teamed up, but they weren't winning at all. Greninja also looked like he was out for the count, and Barbaracle was going going in to do the finishing blow on Froakie, but Froakie decided to evolve into Frogadier to be able to destroy the Barbaracle, showing us his true strength and using his new move Razor Shell. At this point, Frogadier became one of the aces on Ash's team. He showed his true potential, being able to defeat an opponent way stronger than him and saving the Greninja. It seemed like Frogadier almost surpassed his rival, but he developed a brand new one in the process. In a later episode, Ash meets a kid named Sawyer, and he sends out his Trico, and Frogadier and Hawlucha verse them in a double battle. Ash's team completely dominated the battle, but the next day, Sawyer came back, and Trico had evolved into a Grovyle. We got to see how Frogadier would handle an even matchup where he even had the type disadvantage, and Frogadier did not disappoint. He made use of his crazy speed, juking out Grovyle, and finished the battle off with the move Water Pulse. But at the end, Frogadier did give Grovyle his respect, and they mutually respected each other, knowing that someday he would be a very formidable foe. As we continue on with Ash and Greninja's journey, something interesting happened. When they went up against the gym leader, Olympia, she had to reveal a revelation that she had. She prophesied that Ash's Greninja is actually special, and that he has some dormant power deep inside that he just hasn't awakened yet. She also verbally let Ash know about Greninja's backstory on how he was abandoned when he was younger and looking for a strong trainer his entire life. This motivated Ash a lot, and he resonated with Greninja, knowing his pain, and promised Greninja that he would try his absolute best to make sure that he reaches his full potential, and he'll use him in many battles. Funny enough, they went to immediately fight the gym leader after this, and Greninja and Talonflame won in a double battle using a group attack that we haven't seen them use before. After hearing all this from the gym battle, Ash thought it would be pretty smart to get some more information about Greninja, so they went over to the Ninja Village to actually understand what special power Greninja has deep inside. Here we learn that thousands of years ago, there was an ancient Greninja that had a form that people have never seen before, and he used it to protect the village. While we're learning all this, it gets interrupted because the Ninja Village is under attack. There's a big battle outside of the village, and there's a Bisharp going absolutely crazy. Frogadier's rival, Greninja, tries to fight off the Bisharp, but gets absolutely destroyed. Ash sends out Frogadier and Pikachu, and they're trying their absolute best to defeat this Bisharp, but nothing is working against him. Bisharp has them all knocked down, and it seemed like it was over. Bisharp was commanded to use Shadow Claw to finish off Pikachu, but Frogadier jumped in the way, blocking the attack and choosing to evolve into Greninja to protect his friends. Greninja learned the move Water Shuriken, which is one of his signature attacks, and fired it off, but something weird started to happen. Ash felt a strong connection between him and Greninja's eyes started glowing red, and they felt even closer than ever. And Greninja had a water aura surrounding him. We couldn't really see his face, but this Greninja had definitely gotten stronger. And little did Ash and Greninja know, this is the first time they would have used Bond Phenomenon. Not much is known about this transformation, but what we do know is that it's only achievable between certain trainers and Pokemon, like a 1 in a million chance. When this transformation happens, the Pokemon and the trainer are one, so much to the point where when the Pokemon takes damage, the trainer takes damage too. Greninja used his newfound power to absolutely destroy the Bisharp and even surpass his old rival, the other Greninja. Everything was looking good from here. Greninja evolved, protected the village, and even unlocked a brand new form. But Greninja's true stories and real challenges were about to unfold in a way they could have never expected. There were a few instances after this where Ash and Greninja would accidentally tap into the form, but they wouldn't really understand what was going on. The form would also put too much of a strain on Ash's body, which would make him pass out from time to time when activating it, which was really dangerous. Clement made a machine, and he discovered that Ash and Greninja need to be fully in sync to be able to master this form. And while they were doing more training on this, Ash ran into Sawyer again, and he had a rematch with his Sceptile. This Sceptile was no joke now. He grew up. He knew a bunch of Dragon-type moves and Bullet Seed and Razor Leaf. The battle was getting tough for Greninja, but Ash and Greninja felt in sync, activated their Bond Phenomenon, and completely destroyed Sceptile. But this caught the attention of a trainer in the stands, his name being Alon. Alon was completely shocked that a trainer was able to have a Mega Evolution type transformation without a Mega Stone, so he knew he had to challenge Ash to a battle. Alon revealed to Ash that the ace of his team is his Charizard, Mega Charizard X, and he went head to head with Greninja, completely destroying Greninja, forcing him to transform into Ash Greninja form, but they still lost. Ash and Greninja were pretty bummed out about this, so they got back to training to try to master their new form so they could beat Alon. And when they thought they had a good gripe on it, they challenged Alon again. And I've gotta say, up until this point in the anime, this is one of the most intense fights we've seen. Ash and Greninja were seriously going all out against Alon and his Charizard, and it seriously looked like Greninja was gonna win the fight. But when Charizard transformed into Mega Charizard X, he blasted a flamethrower at Greninja, then hit him with a super effective Thunder Punch. This forced the Battle Bond transformation again, and the battle was looking so even. Greninja and Mega Charizard were going head to head, but it all started catching up to Ash. Ash could not withstand the damage Greninja took, and he passed out. He woke up in the hospital with all his friends surrounding him, and they were a little worried, but they were happy that Ash was safe. And Ash told Alon that he wants to battle him again at the Pokemon Kalos League, and Alon said that he'll compete. Ash and Greninja were a little down, so they started doing some more training, and then they ran into the champion of the Kalos region, Diantha. Diantha had caught wind that there was a trainer going around with a Pokemon that had a Mega Evolution-like transformation, and she wanted to see it for herself, so they challenged each other to a battle. Ash and Greninja did not hold back. They activated their bomb phenomenon, having that water aura around them, and they got super fast, and they were actually doing really well up against Diantha's Gardevoir. So Diantha had to respond to this, and she Mega Evolved too. This battle was getting so intense. Gardevoir was throwing out Shadow Balls, Greninja was making Shadow Clones, and this truly felt like a championship level battle. Greninja knew he had to do something if he wanted to win this battle, so he took all the energy from the outside of his body and put it onto his back, turning it into a big water shuriken, revealing his face for the first time. Greninja threw his new water shuriken at Diantha's Shadow Ball and cut right through it. But this newfound power was too much for Ash, and Ash passed out, making them lose the battle. Ash and Greninja's confidence didn't get any better from this loss, since they've been losing a lot recently, and they really wanted to get better, and Ash felt deep inside he wasn't a good enough trainer for Greninja. They had a rematch with Sawyer, and they actually lost against the Sceptile. They didn't lose because they were weak, they lost because Ash's confidence was very low that he couldn't do the Battle Bond transformation anymore with Greninja. All of this was seriously sending Ash down a spiral, making him question his abilities as a Pokemon trainer as a whole, because days ago he was able to beat Sawyer, but now he's losing to him, and he can't even transform anymore. Ash was developing imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is where someone is feeling anxious and not feeling the success internally, even though to everybody else they're doing really well. Nobody else thought Ash was fraudulent, only him. Ash decided to try to move on, and they went to Snowbell City to get the last gym badge, and when Ash first challenged the gym leader Wulfric, it wasn't going well. Hawlucha had already lost, and Talonflame took a big beating too. It was only left to Greninja. Ash tried to tap into the Battle Bomb form, and it worked. Ash and Greninja got their spark back, right? But even with this transformation, they still ended up taking major attacks from Wulfric and losing ultimately to a Gyro Ball. This sent Ash over the edge. They lost again. Later that night, Ash told Greninja how he is really feeling, how he feels like he was being a big letdown, and he was sorry that he's not capable of mastering the transformation for Greninja. So what Ash did is that he left everybody and went off to the forest alone to think. Greninja also was feeling kind of down too, since Ash and Greninja do share some degree of emotions, and Greninja also went off by himself. While Ash was out in the forest, he was helping a wild Pokemon, and the weather started getting worse, and Greninja and Squishy realized Ash was in trouble. They sensed it. They ended up rushing to Ash's aid, and Ash was falling down a cliff, but Greninja saved Ash at the last second. Ash was so excited that his Pokemon came to his rescue, but Ash also let go of the wild Pokemon, and they needed to save him fast. And in that moment, without any hesitation, Ash and Greninja activated Battle Bond, and Greninja jumped down trying to save the Pokemon, and Ash served as Greninja's vision, and Greninja served as the physical body, being able to save the Pokemon. Ash and Greninja were really happy they were able to save the Pokemon, and Ash came to the realization that the Battle Bond transformation should be treated as one, not like two entities, but one together. Greninja agreed on this, and because of their mutual understanding, they finally mastered Battle Bond. Ash and Greninja went back to challenge Wolfglick, and they versed his Mega Obama-Snow. And in this battle, we saw for the first time Ash and Greninja fully transform into Ash Greninja mode, mastering the Battle Bond and going head-to-head with the 8th Gym Leader's Pokemon, and Greninja came out on top. With all that being said and done, Ash and Greninja got their 8th Gym Badge, and now they're ready for the Kalos League, where all of their rivals will be in one place to prove that they're the best of the best. When Ash entered the tournament, he was already on everyone's radars, and A bunch of people would come up to him, even news reporters, wanting to see his new transformation with Greninja that no one's ever seen before, making Ash's battles some of the most viewed ones in the Kalos region. And the people weren't disappointed. Ash got his first round against this kid with an Altaria, and Greninja completely decimated it. All of Ash's friends and rivals were also competing in the Kalos League tournament, and they all had different various challenges. But we finally made it to the semi-finals, one of Greninja's most notable matches. Greninja versus Sceptile. They started off the battle playing no game. Sawyer used Mega Evolution on Sceptile, showing off Sceptile's new form, Mega Sceptile, and he used Frenzy Plant to transform the entire arena with vines. Ash and Greninja used Battle Bond to transform, and they dodged the Frenzy Plant vines and used Cut to destroy them. After dodging a bunch of attacks, Greninja goes in on Sceptile and uses Aerial Ace with some of the smoothest animations we've seen in Pokemon, but Sceptile caught Greninja off guard using Leaf Storm. Greninja and Sceptile fought neck and neck, clashing with Leaf Blade and the Water Shuriken back and forth. Ash was seriously feeling the effects of Greninja taking all this damage onto himself, but Ash knew he had to hold on strong so he doesn't lose the battle. Ash and Greninja were fully synced, being able to dodge all of Sceptile's vines, moving left and right, and they knew they had to go in for a finishing blow. Greninja awakened the Shuriken on his back and jumped high in the sky and used the move Double Team, paying homage to Naruto with a bunch of his shadow clones, and used Rasa and Shuriken. Sceptile tried to block it with Leaf Storm, but it wasn't enough. Greninja's Water Shuriken hit Sceptile, and Ash and Greninja won the battle, even with the type disadvantage. And with this, Greninja ended the long rivalry with Sceptile, coming out on top and being able to move to the finals with Ash versus Alon. Now this battle is very important for Ash. This is his first time ever making it to the finals in the Pokemon League, and it wasn't looking good. Ash was down to his last Pokemon, Greninja. It was Greninja versus Charizard, the fated matchup that was meant to be. Greninja went in knowing he has the type advantage and got a decent cut in on Charizard, and Ash and Greninja took it as seriously as possible and transformed immediately into Ash Greninja. Alon chose to keep the same energy since he knew if he didn't transform now he would lose, and he transformed into Mega Charizard X, also giving him a neutral advantage because Mega Charizard X is not weak to water types anymore. Alon's Charizard went in for a Dragon Claw, and Ash's Greninja went in and clashed against it too, and they were having some of the greatest hand-to-hand combat we've seen yet in this series. Charizard tried to use Thunder Punch to try to one-shot Greninja, but Ash was smart and told Greninja to use Water Shuriken to deflect the Thunder Punches. Greninja got a clean hit against Alon's Charizard and sent him flying all the way back, and Ash knew it was his opportunity to win. Ash told Greninja to use Water Shuriken. Ash and Alon were simultaneously thinking at the same time that no matter who loses, this has been one of the best battles of their entire lives. Then, Ash's Greninja proceeds to make the biggest Water Shuriken we've seen in the entire series. Alon starts getting scared and tells Charizard to use Blast Burn. Greninja lets off his greatest Shuriken, sending it straight at Mega Charizard, and the Blast Burn gets closer to Greninja, and both of the moves hit each of the Pokemon simultaneously. This created a big explosion, and nobody in the entire arena knew what was happening, and then the smoke started to clear up. We could see Ash's Greninja standing tall, and Alon's Charizard almost fall to the ground. But in the moment, Ash's Greninja fell. Ash lost the battle. Even though Ash and Greninja lost, it wasn't like last time. They were actually proud because they gave it their all and they just lost to a better opponent, and Alon was crowned the champion of the tournament. Before the gang even had time to relax, Team Flare had an evil plan brewing in the back, and Ash and Greninja were at the core of it because the leader of Team Flare was trying to use Ash and Greninja's battle bond to use for evil purposes, but in the end, Ash and Greninja broke free because of their battle bond, and Alon teamed up with them to defeat Team Flare. But we did have an issue with the giant rock shaped like Zygarde trying to destroy the entire world, and all of the champions that were here at this point ended up teaming together to defeat the big rock. Because of all this, Ash's Greninja and Alon's team were named the Heroes of Kalos because they did save the world from this Zygarde. It was looking really good for Ash and Greninja. Even though they didn't win the Pokemon Championship, they did end up saving the world, which was a plus. But something came up. Greninja could actually sense that the evil roots were still popping up around Kalos, and Squishy actually suggested if Greninja could go on a journey with them to
Right, Pikachu?
Don't get ahead of yourself. Together, the magicians can defeat the practically no risk. They're
You okay, Pikachu?
Let's see that. Det kan jeg huske.
I'm sorry, partner. Don't worry. It's my
betyder mange strømme.
That was an awesome duel, Ash. My childhood! Whiz, quick! I need your tears! We can save him!
There's a lot to this, so let's break it down by experience, strategy, and monsters. Starting with experience. Both Ash and Yugi have risen to the top, beating the best of the best, and traveled all over the world.
But Ash traveled more, was in more tourneys, and saved the world way more often. And despite what people say, he wins a lot.
Even Atem's stint as the Pharaoh doesn't tip the scale, since he wasn't in charge for very long. Plus, Pokemon evolve over time, literally and figuratively. While Yugi's deck is obviously adjustable, the cards are unchanging, unable to grow like Ash's Pokemon.
So Ash wins in experience, but when it comes to strategy, he's a wild card.
He's skilled at improvisation and using the environment to win. Even machines cannot comprehend his tactics.
But the same goes for Yugi. Gotta remember, Yugi and Atem's teamwork is second to none. They're masters at exploiting weaknesses, setting up tricks, and surprising foes with so-called weak cards.
Both could likely adjust to each other's unpredictability, so a Dark Horse-style win was unlikely.
But Ash's secret weapon is his bond with his Pokemon, boosting their power. I'm not just talking about Pikachu. His power of friendship invented an evolution for Greninja. That's crazy. Ash's trust in his Pokemon knows no limits.
Silly as it may sound, Yugi trusts his deck in the same way. The heart of the cards is real, and Yugi is determined to support his monsters with spells, traps, and buffs. Look at his duels with Merrick and Paradox, where he bolstered his weaker cards to take down gods. With Ba and Ka, his bonds with his cards manifest them into reality, not so dissimilar from Ash Greninja.
Yeah, Ash has aura, but he never mastered it. And specialties like Mega Evolution and Gigantamax, while awesome, only work with specific Pokemon.
And since Ash focuses on offense far more than support, Yugi could control the pace of the fight with cards like Swords of Revealing Light and Magic Cylinder.
But I know some of you are asking, what if Ash threw hands? The kid's strong enough to chuck trees and lift baby gods. Just punch him, man. Well, Yugi's similarly tough, and the Millennium Puzzle can make shields, steal ghosts, cast illusions, and mess with minds. If Ash actually tried to punch him, it'd be Mewtwo all over again.
It's a close call, but Yugi takes the edge in strategy.
So it all comes down to the monsters. Yugi had a slightly larger pool of monsters, but Ash's can clear out island-wide storms, fight terraforming beasts, and are stronger than the black hole summoning Gardevoir.
However, Yugi's can rain down meteors, compete with larger black holes, and even the mid-tier scale to glow Neos, destroying that relativity field with a universe. And Herakti created Yu-Gi-Oh's whole multiverse, surpassing even Soleil's Sunsteel Strike and Dialga's Roar of Time.
And Yugi had more than just monsters on the field. Ash's strength was also his weakness. His power was evenly spread, relying only on his remaining Pokemon.
If Mr. Mime faints, no more Psychic Barriers. If he lost Lucario, no more Mega Evolution. And so on. The longer the battle went, the less Pokemon Ash had. And he did not have a reliable way to bring them back. He doesn't carry revives on him, and even then, reviving Pokemon in the anime is entirely different from the games. Meanwhile, Yugi had cards like Mirage Ruler and Monster Reborn that could instantly recall powers he's lost.
And he can, bend fate to draw whatever card he wants. And we didn't even cover them all. Really, Yugi's deck has no pathetic cards.
Exactly. Yugi's versatility and power swept Ash's options, giving his monsters the lead. He just needed the right moment to knock Ash stone cold.
That was a good attempt at a pun, Wiz. You might not think it's Pharaoh, but Ash got Yugi owned.
The winner is Yugi Moto.
Okay.
Death Battle will be back in 2026, but right now you can check out our brand new channel.
Shonen Trinity, the Big Three. Any longtime reader of Shonen Jump will recognize these.
Two fighters, no research, 60 seconds, 1 minute melee. Select your character.
Superheroines. Millions have been drawn to these modern myths of comic.
Hell yeah, she does.
She used web hosting from help you get the most Android bills from her.
Fight.
Good night, sugar.
Woohoo! This goes down in history as the best death battle ever.
Poor Wonder Woman was more than a match for Rogue, but then she touched Rogue's face.
Wonder Woman is a trained fighter, so naturally she would strike her opponent's weakest spots, like the neck, stomach, joints, and, well, the face.
In the end, her failure was a result of her thorough Amazonian training.
And her stripper outfit. Her leg was just begging to be grabbed there. Though personally,
What's up, my comic comrades? X-Men 97 has put the X-Men and mutants back in the spotlight in a very big way. And if you've been watching the show, you know that's because it's one of the best projects Marvel Studios has ever done. Full stop. Well, in the first season, one of the best and most important characters has been Rogue. She's been an absolute beast. And when we put up our recent poll on our community page, you all definitely agreed because you chose an episode on her over Cable, Bishop, and the big bad Bastion. So today, as promised, we're going to dive into Rogue's history, starting with her origin, then jumping to her important story arcs, powers and abilities, and reading recommendations. And for those of you who are wondering what polls I'm talking about, we want to bring you guys the content you're looking for. So we post various show updates and content polls on our YouTube community page here on Variant's main channel. This allows you all to tell us what content you most want to see next. It's something we're going to be doing.
Jeg har fået en stor cherry sack. Prøv at se her, min bror. Prøv at se her, guys. En kæmpe cherry sort. En kæmpe Funko Pop cherry sort. Har fået julegave. Den er nice. Hvad siger vi, fam? Og den har jeg fået. Ja, der står der er en hund bagpå. Nej. Nu så. Men ja, har I fået nogle gode gaver, fam? Har I fået nogle gode gaver?
Doing a lot more of both here on YouTube and on our social media. So jump.
Oh, you know it's gonna be a good one when the mug's out. Oh man.
Yeah, man. W cherry shot. Yeah. That's for Lexus.
What a life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Laughing at Jake Paul and Andrew Tate.
Jeg har hørt, jeg tabt. Har I hørt, jeg tabt? W gaver, broski. Jo tak. Jo tak, bror, mand. Så hygger vi. Men og JJ, vi har fået and og flæskesteg og noget et eller andet kød. Jeg ved, brun sovs, bananasauce, brun kartofler, hvide kartofler. Det var lækkert. God dansk jul, så det var sådan rigtig... Så det var god mad. Og min mor fik mandel.
And just enjoy the
Okay, det er min
ride.
lille
You have
job,
a
at det
comment here and there. Just enjoy.
Og min motherfucker Charizard.
Oh, this is gonna be brilliant. Oh, yes. The face off. Oh, you know what's funny about this? When Jake Paul touched his face, Jake Paul said, "What are you gonna do about it? Let's see what he did about it."
Au.
Oh, Jakey boy.
Altså fam, jeg havde også gjort det for 100 millioner. 100 millioner? Easy. Jeg har gjort det for 100 millioner. Easy, jeg har gjort det. Det kan fandme også noget. Lige præcis, bror man. Lige præcis. 100%. Jeg havde gjort det der for... Jeg har gjort det der. Men for 100 millioner.
Jakey boy.
Havde I ikke gjort det? Men du ved, se hvor meget man kunne nyde sit liv med.
Well, I even had Jake Paul squeezing AJ's nipples. I bet that felt nice, Jake. I bet you enjoyed that. Oh, this boy knew he was cooked. Bo can't stand still. He's all over the place. AJ's giving him the death stare. Jake is... I smell fear.
Selvfølgelig var han bange. Det var også været.
Lyst til at slippe væk fra hverdagen? Så er det tid til en getaway. Gå på opdagelse i en vidunderlig verden af fyldig kaffesmag og intens aroma. Oplev et unikt øjeblik i hver kop kaffe. Væk dine sanser.
100 mil, ærligt. Hvad er det der? 100 mil. Fam, hvad havde man ikke gjort for 100 mil? Forestil dig 100 millioner på kontoren, bro. Jeg har gjort næsten alt, fam. Bror, man har du spist et lort? Altså det her, det mener jeg fuldt seriøst, fam. Fuldt seriøst. Har du spist et lort? Hvad det hedder? For 100 mil. Jeg har overvejet.
It's finally happened.
100 mil.
Face-to-face
Men vi
with
gør
your
næsten
friend
alt.
who ruined your life and you want revenge. This is the story of Ash's Gengar, who was once betrayed by humanity, had the greatest underdog story in the entire franchise. But to understand all this, we have to take it back to Ash's
Men vi
journey
gør
to
mange
the
ting med 100
capital,
mil.
where there's a haunted house. When one of the professors was working late at night, the power just suddenly went out. Confused, the professor went with his magnet to the basement to check if the power circuits blew a fuse. And when they made it to the basement,
Også mig. Fandme ja. Jamen jeg håber du har haft en god jul, fam. Jeg håber du har haft en god jul. Vi har sgu haft en stille og rolig jul. Det er første jul uden far. Shit, mand. Og så har jeg en Charizard. Jeg var også meget glad for den, fam. Og jeg får uploadet den første Vietnam video. Og for da jeg var i Vietnam. Nu er den første video klar. Det er den her. Jeg er faktisk meget imponeret over, at den er på hype. Ja, om det siger slacking, så er der bare en Among Us video. Og rumvæsenens først. Vi må se, hvor længe den er på hype. Men den er også på hype. Ja. Vi hygger. Hvordan har vi det i dag, fam? Hvordan har vi det i dag? Det er jul. Altså julen er overstået her om et par timer. Så jeg tænker, det er vist egentlig bare det for den her jul. Jeg kommer til at streame resten af aftenen. Det bliver fandme lækkert. Ja, der er ikke så meget andet, men det der. Altså jeg får roommate her snart, så det bliver nye tider, fam. Det bliver nye tider. Nye tider roommate snart. Ja, jo tak, bror mand. Og i lige måde, så kan jeg lige gå ud. Skal jeg have en smøg. Men ja, god jul til dig, homie. Jo tak, bror mand. Og også god jul til dig. Glædelig jul.
Mange dag. We venstre. Ja, vi ses. Hvornår end der. Men ja.
Ja, man. See
I'm just gonna enjoy this in a moment. Hvad vil jeg ikke? Nå, så jeg er ikke ved det, jeg er i Vietnam nu. Hvad er det hedder? Så nu hører jeg ikke fra mig. I var bare ikke fra mig, men jeg har postet i går. Så jeg er lavin. Jeg har en lille voksen her. Den her voksen her. Den er pige. Jeg skal det. Og han slikker min hånd. Det slikker min hånd. Nej, jeg smager ikke af Nutella. Ikke chokolade. Sit. Jeg tror ikke, at han står dansk, men ja. Men det er for ikke. Det er i hvert fald det, jeg tænker. Jeg tænker, at jeg skal starte på vlog nummer 2 i dag. Så jeg tænker bare, at jeg vil lave en livestream, fordi der er mulighed for det. Jeg vil lave anden video, så har vi lavet lidt i dag. Stille mig. Jeg kan ikke love, hvornår jeg kommer til at spille. Jeg stemmer, når det er muligt. Men det er muligt. Jeg kunne ikke sige på flyver, I wish, det var fedt. Ej, jeg aner ikke, hvad der skete. Jeg mødte Sofaro i lufthavnen. Jeg var fra København til Frankrig. Eller fra Frankrig til Paris. Han har også lige været i byen, fik jeg at vide, ikke? Så han ville familierejde hjem, og så til, fra bytur og så til Frankrig. Og så, han satte på økonomiklasse, der var rigtig andet, så heller ikke. Så, jeg ved ikke, hvorfor jeg synes, at der tager på. Ja.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate has so many benefits that it might seem a little overwhelming. What do you get with Ultimate? Why is it different from Xbox Game Pass Essential or Premium? Well, we're here to help you get the best out of your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription with some handy tips, tricks, and reminders. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is the best way to enjoy your favourite titles, including plenty of brand new releases. With your subscription, you'll be able to play over 400 games from the Xbox Game Pass library at the touch of a button on your Xbox console, PC, and other supported devices. With so many games to pick from, there is definitely a game for everyone here. Having Game Pass Ultimate is a great way to try games you've always wanted to play without paying for each one individually. You could literally play a brand new game every single day, all year round with Game Pass Ultimate if you really wanted to. The huge list of games you can play with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate gives you access to new games on day one, including Xbox published titles and third-party ones. Some titles that just dropped on Game Pass on day one include The Outer Worlds 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and many, many more. And there are over 75 new games released on day one a year with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And don't worry, there are even more exciting games coming in 2026, like Fable, Forza Horizon 6, Halo Campaign Evolved, and Gears of War E-Day. Another incredible feature of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is its offerings from Ubisoft and EA, as well as the inclusion of Fortnite Crew. Ubisoft Plus Classics is a library of over 50 iconic games from some of the most memorable franchises in gaming history. This means you'll have access to selections from the Assassin's Creed franchise, Far Cry, Trials, Tom Clancy's The Division, Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, Watch Dogs, and so much more. These are truly some of the best franchises ever made, and you get them all included with your Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Then there's EA Play, which gives you unlimited access to a collection of EA's top titles, trials of select games where you can play up to 10 hours of new releases, member rewards, and a 10% discount on EA digital purchases. And yes, that 10% discount covers DLC, points packs, and game downloads. Some of the incredible EA titles you can play with your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription include The Sims, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Madden NFL 25, UFC 5, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, It Takes Two,
Skal vi get that W in league lige om lidt?
Det er mig. Hvis jeg er dygtig, hvis jeg er dygtig.
Jeg tror godt, vi kan snart få det W. Jeg føler, den kommer. Men lad os logge ind. Jeg føler, den kommer. Ja, det kan jeg huske. Mener. Jeg er helt forvirret. Ja, vi tager det lige. Hvis vi kan få det win. Jeg vil så gerne, det er jul. Vi må win. For hvis jeg vinder, så skal I suppe. Og det loader. Rigtig god jul. Så er vi tilbage, fam. Så er vi tilbage. Ja, først ja. I got the assist. Nej. We got it, bro. We got it, bro. Get up! Jeg fik mit 100 win! Ja, så glad for at jeg fik det 100 kroner. Så bliver det alligevel en god jul. Nu skal I sub for mig. Jeg vandt. Subscribe to the channel. Hvorfor? Fordi jeg vandt i league. Jeg har fået mit 100 win. Hvad så, Simon? Velkommen til. Jeg har lige fået mit 100 win i league. Nu kan jeg slukke for i dag og sige sign out, og så sige det var det. Og så glæder jeg mig til Pattys nye sang kommer ud. Bedre end Coffee Fam. Den skulle snart være ude. Har du fået god mad? Glædelig jul, Simon. Glædelig jul. Dejligt, Simon. Dejligt.
Jeg ved ikke, hun prøver at sige noget til mig, men jeg ved ikke, der. Shit. Shit. No. You don't take this. You don't take this again. Hey. No. Don't look dark. Don't look dark. It's
Glædelig jul. Ja, glædelig jul, fam. Glædelig jul.
Kan det ikke højere? Det tæller. Det gør det, jeg skal videre. Ja. Ben? Nå! Du skal lave 15 mavebøjninger. Du får også lidt point. 15 knippebevægelser, det... Kan godt. Så inden der sagde, at du synes ikke noget at gøre det. Så står bare og lave 15 mavebøjninger. Du kan bogstaveligt talt bare... Det er ikke så du har han bare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, op, 10, op. Kom så, der krop! Mere! Kom så, mand! 15!
Bad dig selv i alkohol, eller drik 4 tårer. Ja, det er 4 tårer. That's right. Har du så på screenshot?
Lad os holde den egentlig.
Ja.
Jeg ved, jeg havde gjort hvad som helst.
Ja, lad spilleren nej, det er ikke rigtigt. Ja, lad en modspiller kilde dig under foden i 10 sekunder.
Ja, okay. Fucking dyre sko, den lige skal af.
Nej, det er ikke så dyrt, den er kun 220.
Velkommen. Skal jeg tage strømmen af, eller er det fint?
Det er fint, ja.
1, 2, 5, 6, 7,
hold ud, Patrick!
10!
Du skal slikke bordet af helvede til.
Nu får jeg altså det
her. Ja, det er så uheldigt.
Jeg får altså sådan en fucking nasty nu.
Ja, bare drik.
Bare drik. Fair nok, hvis du siger det. Meget træ. Jamen, jeg venter bare ting, jeg vil gøre.
Jamen, det er helt fint.
Det? Er det derfor selve?
Patrick, jeg hælder lige pizza, så du styrer showet. Okay? Okay. Så på min kommer. Yes. Så er det sgu mig, der styrer showet her. I dag er jeg, hvor jeg... Fuck. Hold min kommer. Men først, i dag her, hvor jeg har lov at præsentere Christian Djør. Fuck Katrine. Det er ikke mig, hvem er det? Er det Messi? Marcel, bro. Det er Marcel. Ciao til Marcel. Du lyver så meget. Vi kan ikke hinanden bedre. Okay, stop. Dr. Allen. Nu viser jeg, hvordan man gør.
Jeg ser det her mange gange før. Jeg tror, det er for tiden. Jeg vil sige chill, baby. Hvordan har jeg streamet? 2 timer. 5. I morgen er det juledag. Jeg kan komme tilbage i morgen. Klokken er også 12. Det er jo den 25. film. Skal vi lige strække den lidt mere? Hvad siger vi, fam? En halv time mere. Vi skal lige have den her. Den kommer også snart ud, fam.
Skal vi jacuzzi og slikke pussy, skal vi tage på bakken, 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 eller skal vi tage til Oslo, skal vi tage til Sverige, det er lærligt, skal vi tage til bakken, og prøve den gamle, skal vi tage til bakken, skal vi tage til bakken, og prøve den gamle, eller skal vi tage til Oslo, skal vi tage til Oslo, eller Sverige, skal vi tage til bakken, damer over alle, i smukke Norge, hvor vi får lov at tage afsted, boys skal med, hvordan bedre, det er ikke bedre,
Hold op. Må jeg trække på hovedet? Jeg er så færdig, Har du et problem? Jo. Du har for problem. Ja. Hvor er det så blot? Så vandt det ikke noget. Ja, det er fuldt skyld. Det er fuldt nettens skyld. Hvad er dit problem? Nå, kan du lade være med at røre? Kom hen. Har I vundet noget til Storm? Nej, jeg har ikke vundet noget. Vi savner dig, Storm. Jeg er gammel nok at se det her. Det her er impression på hver gang en af til skal blive overrasket. Okay, vi starter med et
Emmy. What the fuck? Hvem er det? Helt ærligt, kom nu. Kom nu. Den er ikke svær. Han er her ikke i dag. What the fuck? Ja, han er overrasket. What the fuck? Ja! Okay. Nå, alle på viden. Næste. Shit. Det er Asmus. Nej. Det er mig. Ja. Okay, næste. Det kommer an på, hvor slemt det er, han reagerer til, ikke? Ja.
Hej,
efterskolen. Ja, hej din navn. Hej. Jeg skater hende. Hun er sgu så meget. Det er altid. Ja. Jeg kommer her kun for at besøge hende.
Shout out to T-Mill. Shout out til Pjuska. Shout out til jer seere derude. Paddy Hop, han er her. Paddy Hop and puller up. Let's go, bitches.
Vi er de vilde mus. Ja. Monster på bakken. Ja, den har jeg stadig. Ikke mig. Ja, så jeg ikke energidrik længere. Så er jeg her ikke. Nej, jeg går med blå. Så, jeg er gået, og jeg har stjålet hendes hund. Nu er hun klog i min. Det må jeg ikke så glad for, men det er fint nok. Så. Kom, Chloe. Stille og roligt. Stille og roligt. Ja. Hvad sker der? Hvad er I her? Hvad er du her? Nej, godt. Patrick, hvad er du her? Hey. Hvad er du her, Patrick? Jeg ved ikke, hvordan jeg havner her. Jeg var fuld i går, og så vågnede jeg op klokken 14. Var du over 30 hele tiden?
Bare på 30.
Puha. Nå. Så Patrick, du var også i dag, så. Ja. Har du turpas? Ja. Så skal vi ud. Ja. Så skal vi prøve noget. I skal høre, Patrick, du skal høre, rumvæsen er bange for den der. Han er bange for at blive syg. Ja, altså vandrutsjebanen. Rumvæsen er bange for vandrutsjebanen. Han er bange for at blive syg. Jeg tror mere, han er bange for at synke. Ja, med sin vægt. Han er også tyk. Slapper du. I er på bakken igen. Det er for is. Ja. Nej, slap på. Hvad så gutter? Hvad så? Så er du lige vand nu. Ja. Vi vil gerne have med. Hold jer lige hernede. Jeg holder jer lige hernede, så vi kan være her. Hold fast, Patrick. Hold fast, Patrick. Hold jer lige hernede. Vi holder. Med igen. Kom. Hvad siger vi? Hvad siger vi om den? Siger vi? Jeg skal prøve den her. Hvad? Jeg skal prøve den her. Ja. Så er rummet ikke tør. Ja. Hey, goddag. Det er min var blød, fordi du skal have død. Det mener jeg, du kan. Hvad fanden mener du? Jeg troede, du ved. Hvad fanden mener du, mand? Jeg tror også, du var død. Bakke. Tag en telefon, ja, her er Esben Patrick. Vi er på bakken igen. Dag, endnu en bakketur. Afsted. Hvad så, Pjuske? Oh shit. Kom. Pas på, Pjuske. Det er ordentligt. Så tøser. Kæft, du er fuld, mand. Hvad er det der for nu?
Puller på hej, jo.
Lidt bro her. Hvad skal du med en dyk?
Det er skive, du.
Det er Jonas' lejlighed.
Jonas skal aldrig været herinde før. Jeg tager lige kameramand.
Så? Patrick, giv et nummer.
Ja, Patrick.
Patrick, giv et nummer.
Det er din mor. Hej. Nå, nu skal du høre historien om det her rum herinde.
Der var en rotte.
Om lastrummet. Der er en rotte. Den er dernede. Men i gamle dage, der kørte den frem. Og der... Corona! Der er Patrick!
Giv et nummer mere, Patrick.
Start med Danmark-klubben. Kom her. Ja, så ikke.
Jeg kommer til at komme med det.
Nej, du det. Ja, det var et af mine yndlingssteder, da jeg var knægt på bakken. Hui. Altså knægt.
Prøv at køre mig igen.
Nå, gør du det? Au. Der var der en rotte. Den er der stadig. Lige der. Men den bevæger sig ikke mere. Det fandt noget, fordi jeg var klar over, hvor mange piger, der skreg op, når de så den rotte. Så mange. Det var så sjovt.
Kan det så mere, eller hvad?
Ja, det kan jeg sikkert godt. Nej, det kan jeg nok ikke. Nå. Hold op. Jeg giver en glas på i tilfælde af corona.
Stakkels marker.
Der er corona, så på en glas på.
Og så er jeg den eneste YouTube-kanal, der har den rigtige måde at spise det på.
I Danmark?
I Danmark.
Ja, for Dennis han overreagerede.
Så, Anders er i gang med at pille løg. Det skal jeg have noget tilbehør til.
Ja, det er simpelthen
Det er i hvert fald spændende. Altså, hvis det var saltet, så tror jeg godt, vi overlever. Hvis det bare ikke lugter så meget, som det gør.
Ja.
Det lugter færdigt, men det er sgu ikke så slemt.
Bare det ikke lugter hele...
Kniv.
Okay, hvad er det vildeste, du prøver at spise, Patrick?
Hvad er det sådan til aller...
Det er faktisk...
Det værste, du prøver at spise, eller sådan til...
Hvad er der prøvet at spise? Smør 5 stykker med smør.
Du prøver at spise.
Og bagefter så smører du med creme fraise.
Smør.
Smør først, og så creme fraise.
Måske man skulle købe usalt og smør, det der.
Bulldagknudler.
Ej, det er fint. Der har du, som sagt,
stærkere nudler.
Bulldagknudler. Der har du creme fraise nemlig til at neutralisere meget af det her salt.
Ja, sgu drikke med som mælk.
Det var sjovt, fordi...
Insekter med havgryn.
No,
det var frugtbrød.
Hvad seriøst?
Ja, nice.
Det ved man ikke, bror. Det ved man ikke. Det ved man ikke, bror. Det ved man ikke. På et tidspunkt, bror. Måske.
Jeg siger ikke, efter til på her, det er ikke så slemt. Så sådan et der, så når det stikker, så gør det bare virkelig ondt. Nej.
Så det er faktisk ret luksus. Okay. Jeg gør mig lige klar. Hvad så alle sammen? I dag så skal jeg besøge min far. Ja, det hedder, han er på plejehjem. Han er lige kommet hjem for lægetjek. Ja, jeg skal have nye briller. Så Prime Plus skal komme ind, og han har fået sine nye briller. Det er det første skridt, det er det første skridt, det er det første skridt. Eller det er faktisk det andet skridt. Det første skridt var at stoppe med at ryge. Og til jer alle sammen, der tror jeg ikke, jeg stopper bare fordi jeg poster.
Ja, det bliver skidt. Nå, færdig. Jeg tror, jeg vil sige, det var det for det.